Hey, it's Breaking the News. I'm Jana Shortle. So, folks, it could be days, weeks, or months before we know the full picture of what the cyber criminals wanted and got in their attack on St. Paul's system. So as we prepare for that very slow reveal, we continue to ask the questions we can get answers for you to right now. Here's Kent.
St. Paul's first responders want to make one thing clear in the wake of an unresolved cyber attack.
On the front line, we're responding as we always have, and we'll be there for your calls.
Fire and police chiefs say they did have to develop some workarounds in order to respond after the city detected suspicious activity on its network on Friday.
We are the victims of a serious crime,
which led them to declare a state of emergency yesterday and a full network shutdown.
We don't know at this point what the goal was of infiltrating the city system.
The most likely scenario is it's a ransomware attack.
Cliff Steinhauer with the National Cybersecurity Alliance says that based on the city's decision to shut down so many systems and keep them down.
And that's generally a hallmark of an encryption type of malware that ransomware actors tend to use. And a lot of times, that indicates that they're not paying a ransom, which I think is the right thing to do. It's better not to obviously reward the threat actors for the criminal activity that they're doing.
In the meantime, he says it's good to see police and fire are still able to do their jobs.
The systems that we need to operate at full function all the time are still intact. We're working them. We're fine.
He's also glad to hear federal and local teams, including the Minnesota National Guard's cyber protection team, are working behind the scenes.
A lot of those folks at the National Guard are full-time cybersecurity professionals who then volunteer their time to be part of that response team. It's an exciting development, and I think it's a very positive thing. I do think it speaks to the severity of the situation, obviously, when you have to call in something like that. I look forward to more transparency to find out what happened so that other governments and other agencies can learn from this incident and take that back and make sure that they don't fall victim to the same thing.
In the meantime, what would you tell members of the public that might be worried about their personal information?
I would go ahead and proactively reset your password if you have availability to get to the account in the first place, and be really wary that attackers of other natures could kind of pile onto this and come after individuals, tricking them into thinking that something is wrong.
So are you saying like phishing attacks that might say, hey, your data was compromised by the city of St. Paul or something like that?
100%. Attackers will maybe find folks that live in the area and make them think that they were a victim of this attack and send them to other malicious sites and compromise them in other ways. So definitely be on the lookout for that, and don't really trust those incoming messages.
So much to look out for right now. And speaking of that threat to personal data, I talked about this last night. First responders have had their data and bank accounts targeted during ransomware attacks in other big cities, and St. Paul admits to that. Said so this afternoon, and they are very aware and that they're doing what they can to help everyone safeguard themselves until they know more about what's going on, like all the rest of us. We'll be right back.